They say champions are born in the spotlight, but the truth? Champions are forged in the darkness nobody sees. For Gabi Butler, the girl who would become cheerleading's most recognized face, her brightest moment at Daytona didn't start with confetti and cameras. It started with a secret she carried alone, a weight no teenager should bear, and a choice that almost destroyed her. March 2014, Daytona Beach. The air smelled like salt water and hairspray, that intoxicating mix every elite cheerleader knows by heart. Walking through those doors in her California All-Stars uniform was 16-year-old Gabi Butler. To everyone watching, she was perfection. Flawless tumbling, powerful stunts, that million-dollar smile that would later launch 1,000 brand deals. But inside, Gabi was drowning. Her phone buzzed. Another text from her mom. "Did the check clear yet? Your brother needs new shoes. Dad's hours got cut again. We're counting on you, baby girl." Gabi's stomach twisted. The sponsorship money. The money she'd earned from social media posts. The money that was supposed to help her family but somehow made everything more complicated. She was 16 years old, carrying the financial weight of her entire family while trying to hit a full to double and smile like her world wasn't crumbling. "Gabi, warm-ups in 5." Her coach's voice cut through her thoughts. She shoved the phone back, painted on that smile, and headed to the mat. Because that's what champions do, right? They perform. They don't break. They don't show weakness. The California All-Stars SMOD team was legendary. Multiple world championships, the best athletes in the world. And Gabi had sacrificed everything to earn her spot on that team. This was her dream. This was everything she'd worked for since she was 6 years old. So why did it feel like she was suffocating? Warm-ups were flawless. Gabi hit every skill. Her teammates were electric. Eddie's energy, Kiara's power, Carly's precision. They were ready. They were going to win. Then Gabi saw her. Across the warm-up area, a girl from a rival team was crying. Her coach spoke urgently to her. The girl shook her head over and over. Then she walked off the floor and didn't come back. "What happened?" Gabi asked a nearby athlete. "Injury," the girl whispered. "She's been pushing through a stress fracture for weeks. Her parents can't afford to miss work to take her to the doctor. She tried to tape it up and compete anyway, but it finally gave out. She's done." Gabi knew that story. She was living that story. Her phone buzzed again. She shouldn't look. She needed to focus, but she looked anyway. Mom. "Gabi, I hate to ask, but can you call the sponsor? We need an advance. The electric bill is overdue. I know you're competing, but this can't wait." Gabi felt something crack inside her chest. She was 16. She was about to compete for a world championship, and her mother wanted her to call a sponsor to beg for money for an electric bill. She typed back, "Mom, I'm competing in 20 minutes. Can this wait until after?" The response came immediately. "No, they're threatening to shut it off today. Your brothers and sisters need lights, Gabi. Please." When had Gabi's cheerleading stopped being about joy and started being about survival? If you've ever felt the weight of everyone's expectations crushing you while you're trying to chase your own dreams, hit that subscribe button. Because Gabi's story is about to show you what real strength looks like. She stepped away, found a quiet corner, and made the call. The conversation was humiliating, begging for an advance on money she'd already earned, explaining her family's situation to a stranger, promising more content, more posts, more of herself. "We can do 500 today," the sponsor said. "But Gabi, you're burning through these advances fast. We need to see better engagement numbers to justify this. Better engagement numbers, more followers." More of her life turned into content while she was barely holding herself together. "Thank you," Gabi managed. "I'll post something tonight after competition." She hung up, leaned against the wall, and allowed herself exactly 30 seconds to fall apart. Then she wiped her face, fixed her makeup, and walked back to her team. "You good?" Eddie asked, eyes concerned. "Perfect," Gabi lied with that $1,000,000 smile. Let's win this thing. But here's what nobody knew. In that moment, walking back to her team with a fake smile and a real breaking heart, Gabi made a decision. She was going to hit this routine. She was going to help her team win. And then, after the confetti fell and the cameras stopped rolling, she was going to quit. Because she couldn't do this anymore. Something had to give. And if it couldn't be the financial pressure, if it couldn't be her family's needs, then it had to be the dream. This would be her last competition, her last pyramid, her last moment in the spotlight she'd fought her whole life to reach. Nobody knew it yet. But Gabi was saying goodbye. California All-Stars Smode was called to the mat. The music started, and Gabi Butler flew. She hit every stunt, every tumbling pass, every moment was perfection. But inside, with every skill she landed, she was saying goodbye. The routine ended. The crowd went insane. Another world championship, another banner. Gabi smiled for the cameras, hugged her teammates, raised her trophy, played the part everyone expected. But inside, she was empty, because winning felt like losing when you knew what came next. Gabi Butler stood on that podium at Daytona, a world champion at 16, and felt more alone than she'd ever felt in her life. The celebration lasted for hours. Gabi went through the motions, saying all the right things, smiling all the right smiles. But when she finally got back to the hotel room, she locked herself in the bathroom and fell completely apart. Silent sobs, the kind where you can't breathe, where your chest feels like it's caving in. She slid down the bathroom wall, still in her competition makeup, championship medal around her neck, and let herself feel everything she'd been holding back. A knock on the door. "Gabi, you okay in there?" It was Carly, one of her teammates. Sweet, perceptive Carly, who never missed anything. "I'm fine," Gabi called out, her voice cracking. "Gabi," Carly's voice was gentle. "Open the door." Gabi stared at the door. She could keep lying, keep pretending, keep being the strong one who never broke. Or she could tell the truth. She opened the door. Carly took one look at her and pulled her into a hug. "Talk to me. What's going on?" And suddenly the dam broke completely. Everything poured out. The financial pressure, her family's dependence, the sponsorship advances, the constant juggling. The exhaustion. The decision to quit. "I can't do this anymore, Carly," Gabi whispered. "Everyone thinks this life is glamorous. They see the trophies and the followers and the success. They don't see me begging sponsors for advances at 16 so my family can keep the lights on. They don't see me choosing between competition fees and my brother's school supplies." Carly was quiet for a long moment. "You're not alone in this." "What? You think you're the only one carrying weight?" "Eddie's dad lost his job last year. Kiara's parents are drowning in medical bills. Half our team is dealing with stuff nobody talks about because we're all supposed to be these perfect champions." Carly squeezed her hand. "The difference is, you're trying to carry it alone. But my family is counting on me." "And that's not fair," Carly interrupted firmly. "Gabi, you're 16. 16. You shouldn't be your family's financial safety net. That's not your job." "But if I don't help them, who will?" "I don't know," Carly admitted. "But destroying yourself to save them isn't the answer either. Have you talked to anyone? Coach? Your parents about boundaries?" Gabi shook her head. "How can I say no when my little sister needs clothes or my brother needs food?" "By remembering that you matter too," Carly said. "That your dreams matter too. That you can't pour from an empty cup. And Gabi, you're bone dry." "I'm quitting," Gabi said finally. "After this season, I can't do another year of this." "Because you don't love cheerleading anymore? Or because you don't see a way to do it without destroying yourself?" Gabi was quiet, because that was the real question. "I love it," she admitted. "I love this sport more than anything, but I can't keep being torn in two. My family needs me home, earning money. The sport needs me focused, dedicated. I can't be both, So I choose family. If what Gabby's going through is touching your heart right now, show some support. Hit that like button and drop a comment sharing a time when you had to choose between two things you loved. Carly stood up and pulled Gabi to her feet. Come on. There's someone you need to talk to. Carly, it's 1 in the morning. I don't care. Come on. She dragged Gabi down the hallway and knocked on a door. Coach Orby answered, looking concerned. Carly? Gabi? Everything okay? No, Carly said bluntly. Gabby's planning to quit because she's drowning and thinks she has to drown alone. And I think you should hear why. For the next 2 hours, Gabi told her story. The whole story. The financial pressure. The family dependence. The impossible choices. The breaking point. Coach Orby listened without interrupting. When Gabi finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Gabi, you're not responsible for saving your family. You're 16 years old. Your job is to be 16, to learn, to grow, to chase your dreams. Your parents should never have put this burden on you. But they didn't have a choice. There's always a choice, Coach said firmly. And the choice to make their teenage daughter the family's financial backbone, that's not okay. So what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to let the adults in your life help you navigate this, starting now. Tomorrow, we're setting up a meeting with the gym ownership. We're going to talk about scholarship options, financial support, ways to ease the pressure. We're going to explore resources for your family that don't involve you sacrificing your childhood. Gabi's eyes filled with tears. Why would you do that? Because that's what family does, Coach said simply. And this team, this gym, we're family, the best kind. The meeting happened 2 days after Daytona. Gym ownership, coaches, Gabi, and her parents all in one room. It was uncomfortable, emotional, and brutally honest. But by the end, solutions started emerging. The gym created a scholarship fund for athletes in financial hardship. They connected Gabi's family with community resources they didn't know existed. They set up a trust for Gabi's earnings that her parents couldn't access without oversight. Most importantly, they had a hard conversation with Gabi's parents about boundaries, about supporting their daughter's dream without bleeding it dry, about letting their teenager be a teenager. It wasn't perfect. Change never is. But slowly, the crushing weight began to lift. Gabi could breathe again, could train without constant anxiety, could start to remember why she'd fallen in love with cheerleading in the first place. 3 months later, Gabi stood in the California All-Stars gym, preparing for the next season. But this time, something was different. She was laughing. Really laughing. The kind of joy that comes from doing what you love without the weight of the world on your shoulders. You staying? Eddie asked with a grin. Or you still planning that dramatic retirement? Gabi punched his arm playfully. I'm staying. Turns out I don't have to choose between my family and my dream. I just needed people brave enough to help me carry both. That season, Gabi Butler didn't just compete. She soared. Without the constant financial anxiety, she rediscovered the pure joy of flight. Her skills got cleaner. Her confidence grew. Her smile became real again, not just painted on for cameras. But the most important change wasn't visible in routines or championships. It was in how Gabi started using her platform. She began talking openly about the financial pressures young athletes face, about family dynamics, about the hidden cost of chasing elite sports dreams, about the importance of asking for help before you break. Her honesty resonated. Thousands of young athletes reached out, sharing their own stories. Gabi became more than a champion. She became a voice for athletes who felt voiceless. The documentary Cheer would later make her a household name. Millions would watch her perform, admire her skills, but they'd never know about that night in Daytona when she almost walked away. They'd never know about the bathroom breakdown or the conversation that changed everything. They'd see the champion. But Gabi had learned that being a champion wasn't about being perfect or invincible. It was about being brave enough to admit when you're drowning and asking for the life raft. Years later, at a cheerleading clinic, a young athlete approached Gabi nervously. "How do you handle the pressure? Everyone expecting you to be perfect all the time? I feel like I'm drowning." Gabi knelt down to the girl's eye level. "You want to know what real strength looks like? It's not hitting every skill or never showing fear. Real strength is saying, 'I need help,' before you break. It's setting boundaries even when people are disappointed. It's choosing yourself even when everyone wants a piece of you." The girl's eyes filled with tears. "But what if people think I'm selfish?" "Then they're not your people," Gabi said firmly. "The right people will understand that you can't pour from an empty cup, that taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's survival." Before we close out this story, I need you to do something. First, subscribe to this channel if these stories are speaking to your heart. We're building a community that understands the real struggles behind the smiles. Second, comment below. What's one boundary you need to set to protect your dream? Say it out loud. Make it real. Gabi Butler's brightest moment at Daytona wasn't when she won that championship. It wasn't the confetti or the trophy or the standing ovation. Her brightest moment was in a hotel bathroom at 2 a.m. when she finally admitted she was drowning and let someone throw her a rope. It was in the meeting where she set boundaries with her family and chose herself without guilt. It was in the decision to stay and fight for her dream instead of sacrificing it. It was in every time after when she used her platform to tell the truth instead of just the pretty story. Champions aren't born in the spotlight. They're forged in the darkness, in the moments when they choose themselves, when they ask for help, when they decide that surviving is more important than appearing perfect. Gabi Butler fell, not from a stunt, but under the weight of impossible expectations. And then she rose, not by carrying everything alone, but by finally letting others help carry the load. They say champions are born in the spotlight, but the truth? Champions are made in the darkness, one brave choice at a time. The choice to be honest, the choice to set boundaries, the choice to believe that you matter as much as your dream. Until next time, remember this. Your worth isn't measured by how much weight you can carry alone. It's measured by how brave you are when you finally ask someone to help you carry it. Stay strong, stay honest, and never forget, you can't shine if you burn yourself out trying. Keep flying, champions. Just remember to land sometimes and let people remind you why you started soaring in the first place.